Okay, in this lecture we're going to draw tangents between two lines, between two circles of different diameters. So let us have the first circle of random. We're having the first circle of radius r1. Okay, and then we're having a smaller circle of radius r2. Now let's draw the radius of these lines. This is the radius r1 and the radius through the second circle. Radius r2. So what we'll first do, we'll first join the centers of radius r1 and r2. We join radius r1, the center of radius r1 and the center of circle r2. Now, after joining the centers, we shall use a perpendicular bisector of a line to bisect this line, like we learned in the last lecture. You pick a distance that is greater than the line, greater than the center of the line, okay? And you draw an arc, like we saw in the last lecture, sorry. Okay, come to the other, maintain the same distance, come to the other center, draw an arc where the arcs meet, join them because it's what's going to give us the dissecting line. Okay, have this point and this point. Now, where this perpendicular line crosses that line that we're dissecting, come to one of the radiuses and draw a circle. Okay, it should pass through both radiuses. Now, after you've done that, we're going to draw a circle in the bigger circle of radius r1 minus r2. So simply, you'll come to the radius r2, pick the distance radius r2, pick the radius r2, and come to the circumference of r1 along the radius line, and mark off. Now, so after you come to this radius r1 and draw a circle through this r1 minus r2. The radius is so small. The smaller the radius, the more inaccurate it is. So you draw a circle through this radius. You draw a circle through. Now the radius, the circle of the radius we've just gotten is R1 minus R2. Now the point where this radius R1 minus R2 intersects this bigger circle we drew, we join them to the center of R1 and we elongate that line. Where this line is elongated, you use your set squares to make a parallel line to the other circle. Remember our concept of making parallel lines using set squares, like we studied in the last lecture. Okay, after getting that line, we slide it down on this 30-degree square to radius R2. This line is parallel to this line. Then you do the same on the lower part. The place where this radius R1 minus R2 intersects the bigger circle that we drew of the intersecting line, perpendicular intersecting line, we draw a line through to join the circumference R1. Then we pick that line to make a parallel line on R2. Pick it and we slide it down the square to get our other. Slide it down to the radius R2. This line is parallel to this line. Now, where these parallel lines intersect their respective radiuses, you draw, those are the points of tangency to these circles. Okay. Make sure to use outlines for the components we are trying to search for. Okay, that's the tangent line. And on the other side, we have this point and this point. You draw the tangent line. Okay, that is our way of drawing tangents between two circles.